gosh, I was probably in the Kimbo 6 for like half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was hilarious because like other people were coming in as we were just sitting there talking, and because we have our premium camping badges, people thought I worked for Kimbo and they're asking me questions. You have tuned in to Remote Trails Radio, where your hosts, Garrick and Melody, take you off the beaten path into the world of overlanding, life in the Pacific Northwest, and whatever the heck else we feel like chatting about. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's hit the trails together.
Hey, welcome. Thanks to everyone for joining our show today. I'm Melody.
And I'm Garrick.
And you're listening to Remote Trails Radio. We have a very special episode. It's a two-parter.
Yeah.
This one we have is day one of Overland Expo.
Yeah, we probably sound a little different too because we are at the location. So Melody, you're like in front of my face.
I know, this is honestly really weird. We normally record on a computer.
Yeah.
And so we're virtual because that just makes it easier for our sound system.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So we don't have to trek across town every time. So
right.
Yeah.
So now we're live and in person.
It's like, no, we'd rather drive 6 hours away from our home and then meet in person that way.
Yep, that's pretty much what it comes down to. It's your long distance friend now.
So where are we, Melody?
We are at the Overland Expo PNW.
Yeah.
You might be able to hear from the engine behind us. This is basically like part car show, part gear grabbing and deals, show specials, and part community. So we get to meet a lot of people. What else is it? Oh, education is a huge factor.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why did you come to Overland Expo, Garrick?
Well, to rep Remote Trails Radio, of course.
Get the word out.
Yeah. But I might have some ulterior motives for being here as well.
Okay.
I am looking for my next rig setup, and I have decided to go with a truck and a camper of some kind.
All right. I don't know how I feel about this non-Forerunner that you speak of.
Oh, the Forerunner will always be in my heart. And on my driveway for a while, even after I buy a truck. So.
Fair. Okay. I feel better about this. All right. So tell me about this. Why did you decide this all of a sudden?
I think I've always wanted to just do something different after. I didn't want to go do another SUV. I like variety in my life, so I just want to see a different way of overlanding. And I kind of always knew I was going to do a truck for sure, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do with the truck. Either just like have like a tonneau cover and just use that as extra storage, or do like a very simple rack with a rooftop tent or something. Even though I'm not the biggest rooftop tent fan. But yeah, so I knew I wanted a truck, but then I kind of started reading about campers, and I thought truck campers were really only for the realm of heavy duty trucks.
Okay.
Because that's usually when I think of truck camper, I think of like the big ones you see lumbering down the road, and
totally.
Looks like you can fit a family of 4 in there, no problem, and all the dogs you want as well.
Like a Storyteller or a Ross Munster.
Yeah. I mean, if I could afford those things, I would absolutely want to do it. I couldn't park it in my house. Like, that would just have to be my house. But
Fair enough.
Yeah. But then I found out about these lightweight sliding campers that are available. Like a couple of notable examples that they have. Well, they have 3 notable examples here. Scout, which is they're manufacturing them in Yakima. Then there's Kimbo, which is out at Bellingham. And then there's also this AT Overland. I don't actually know where they produce the AT Overlands, but they also do some lightweight sliding campers.
AT stands for like Altera or Altera.
Yeah, well, they make an Altera. It's like one of their models is called the Altera.
Okay.
But is that a place, Altera?
I thought it was just like that's what AT was, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Oh, okay.
I haven't talked to them yet.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time talking to Mario about their sliding camper that is designed for a midsize. And I guess that's where I'm kind of going with this. All these manufacturers make sliding campers that are meant for a midsize truck.
Okay.
So that kind of put me down this path of like, okay, well, I want to do a sliding camper on a midsize truck. Then, what are the options in midsize trucks and what works best for that particular use case?
Yep.
And after doing some research, payloads on midsize trucks are vary anywhere from terrible to actually pretty good.
Okay.
And
Can you explain what payload is?
yeah, so
For any listeners
payload is
who don't know.
basically all of our vehicles have a gross vehicle weight rating, a GVWR,
Okay.
and that's the maximum amount of weight you can have basically on the vehicle total. But then the vehicle itself also has its own weight starting off with, right? So that's like the stock weight. I think there's actually a term for, I think it's curb weight is what it's often referred to.
Okay.
Like what
Yeah,
just
that
becomes
sounds right.
stock before you add any mods and whatnot.
Right.
And from the manufacturer, not only do they have like the base stock weight, but then manufacturer already adds options as well. So that starts pulling away from that GVWR. So basically, what it comes down to is the payload is the difference between the weight of the vehicle and the GVWR, because the GVWR is basically like the max you should go to safely operate the vehicle.
Okay. Yeah, this is really important because this is something that gets overlooked, right? You buy a truck and then you just put everything in the kitchen sink on top and hope
Yep,
for the best. But then
absolutely.
that becomes not safe to drive.
Yeah. And I've been looking around and I've seen a lot of mid-sized trucks here with some pretty big campers on them, and they are definitely over their payload. But it's interesting because I've talked to a few owners and owners specifically that are over payload, and they say, "Oh, it's not a big deal. All you have to do is like make the necessary modifications." Like a lot of people say they either put timber in bump stops or airbags
Okay.
to kind of sit under the rear axle, and that can help stabilize the vehicle.
Okay.
My concern, though, with payload specifically, is that if I'm in a scenario where I'm in an accident of some kind and there's insurance involved, I don't want insurance to be
Oh.
like, "Oh, well, you were over payload, so you're at
Right.
fault," right? Yeah,
Right. Not
yeah,
responsible.
you were operating a vehicle in an unsafe manner, sort of
Oh my
deal.
gosh, I didn't even think about that.
Right.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
So that's why
Okay.
I'm making such an importance of payload. So get back to it. The payloads I found, you can get mid-sized trucks that have a payload like under 1,000 pounds, and that's like from the factory. They're usually like the specs that you want, like the trim levels that are like the coolest. It's like the TRD Pros and the Tremors and all that. Like
Mhm.
if you have all the fancy stuff, that really cuts down your payload.
Got it.
But if you get a more simple truck that's more like work truck sort of spec, that's gonna have less stuff on it, and it's also just gonna have like the leaf springs in the back rather than coils and whatnot. It's stuff that's meant to be hauling stuff. So
Yeah.
I found that the Ford Ranger 2026 specifically has the highest payload I have found on a midsize truck, and you can get it at I think the maximum if you had no options would be like 1767 is what it could potentially be.
Yep.
But there's a couple things I absolutely want. I want the towing package because if you have a trailer, you want to have like the pins and whatnot. And then I use a hitch a lot, anyways, just for like carrying bikes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then with the Ford Ranger, you can spec a electronic locking diff, even at the most basic trim level, which is really handy.
Awesome. So you don't have
Yeah,
to put that in.
right.
That's great.
Yeah, and honestly, adding the tow package and the electronic diff only takes like 15 pounds of payload away.
Yeah.
So you can still be over like 1750 if you get a nice, like really, low option vehicle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So this has been a really nice Ford commercial.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So Ford is here. So we have to go look at their booth and
Yeah, I have
go
to
say
talk to them. They
hi.
they did not bring a
They didn't
Ranger.
bring a Ranger.
Yeah,
It's just so
it's like
strange.
Explorers and whatever the bigger Explorer is.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't
even. Have.
understand how brands decide what to bring
Yeah,
to an expo.
it must be like they must have just like refreshed it recently, and that's just kind of what they're pushing right now. Is
Yeah.
I guess.
But Overland Expo is cool in that this one has an app. I don't know if SoCal had one, but this PNW one has an app, and it's actually really great. I have to say, I'm not really an app person, but this helps keep me organized. It has an exhibitor list, so I can look up who I want to see, what I'm interested in,
Mhm.
whether it be car brands or mods or suspension. I can look them up and see if they're here, and then go straight to them to say hi. Some of the booths that I've been to, actually, I already own their products, and I just swung by to tell them that they're doing a great job, and I
Yeah,
absolutely love their product, and they are so stoked when that
it's
happens.
like an
So
in-person 5-star review.
it is. It's an in-person high five. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there
Yeah,
you
5-star review. So they love that. They love hearing it because I think sometimes when you're in sales mode, sometimes you need that extra burst of energy to be like, no, this is really amazing. I
go. Yeah,
already use it. I love it.
get the human element of it. Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, like I went by the Nokian booth, and I use those tires in the winter religiously. They are the best, I think, out of all the tire brands. But now I'm into a Nokian commercial here, but I went by their booth just to say that I absolutely love them. And they went in the back and they got me a free hammock and they brought it out and it was a Nokian branded hammock. And I'm like, thank you. I'll absolutely use that. Maybe not today. It's kind of windy.
Yeah.
But this has been great.
Yeah, going back to the apps that you were mentioning, I found kind of a combo of two apps that I've been using. The Overland Expo app, because I remember you had said down in SoCal that there were some issues with the app that you had down there.
Yes.
So I was kind of surprised because it has been a pretty good experience here.
Yes.
Especially, I like using it for going through the list of all the talks that are going on, and then it actually lets you sort of like favorite it, and then there's like you have the big crazy event list which has everything, but then you have your favorited list, and it like your favorited list is like chronological. So at any given moment, you're like, okay, what's coming up next, and hopefully you've only chosen one. Sometimes you've chosen them also. You have to make a split decision at the moment which one you're going to go to.
That was my whole day yesterday. There were like probably 4 per hour that I wanted to do. And
Yeah.
then you have to make the decision, do you want to go to that class on education and learn something new? Or do you walk the show? Because that's what you're here to do, is walk the show, right? So
Yeah.
I absolutely love that they have classes and they're being hosted by really, really legit overlanders. And then we walked the parking lot last night, and that was an even better education because those are real people really living and using their space, their rigs. And then you can talk to anyone. Everyone here has been so kind. There was some karaoke last night, so maybe that was a little bit too much, but we could all hear it. But it's just been really great here to have all these kinds of different experiences.
Yeah, for sure. You touched on a good point. I found that talking to owners of these things is more useful. I mean, I'm glad salesmen are there because they're often there to answer questions you have, and they have the information available to, get you past whatever
super
unknowns, right? But learning the owner's experience and what they've gone through and like what they like about it, what they changed, that's like even more valuable to me.
Right, because they're living it every day.
Right.
They're like the true review.
Right. Exactly.
Right? And they'll be honest about like what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair to some of the salespeople here, though, like when we sat in the Scout Yoho pop up, literally one of the salespeople there, like that was theirs. Like they were living out of that thing, and I was like, oh yeah, like so they knew everything about it and give us like their own take on experiencing that. So
yeah, that was great. All right, well, you have a lot of campers to look at.
Yeah,
you still have more campers to look at.
Many. Yeah, there's so few.
Did you already hit Kimbo?
I did. I sat with Kimbo for, gosh, I was probably in the Kimbo 6 for like half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was hilarious because like other people were coming in as we were just sitting there talking, and because we have our premium camping badges, people thought I worked for Kimbo and they're asking me questions.
Oh yeah, because we're hoping to have Amanda from Kimbo on. She's actually traveling like from north to south in her Kimbo. Yeah. So another great person to ask about like what really works.
Yeah, for sure. The other app that I've been using though that is kind of a surprise is Onyx Off-Road.
Right?
Yeah. It took me a minute to make it work, but from the Expo app, they have a link to Onyx, which opens up the Onyx app, and then suddenly you have a whole map of all the exhibitors, and
it's a much better map of the exhibitors.
Yeah, it's so nice to like zoom in and out, and I guess if you really want to, you can even route yourself to it. I haven't needed that, but I guess some people
you can if you have the paid version.
Okay,
the free version won't do that. But the free version, you can still create waypoints. So let's say, on this giant map of 100 exhibitors, you can actually pinpoint which ones you want to see, which is really great, and make sure you hit them.
Nice.
Because it does get a little overwhelming at first.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
No, so the combination of the two has been great. Has there been any highlights for you so far, Melody? We're just to give a little context. This is morning of Saturday, so we've actually only seen one true expo day so far. And we came in on Thursday evening, but that was mostly just people were setting up, and then Friday was like the first true day of the expo.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the camping because We have premium camping. So there's premium camping and regular camping, and there's all sorts of other camping like exhibitor camping and things like that. So we chose premium, and premium allows us to come in a day early. So we were able to come in on Thursday and set up in a designated area. And I would say it's really nice. Just speaking for this is my first time at Expo PNW. The grass is amazing, and I don't know what it's like in the regular camping area, but
I've heard it's dusty. Or it's just like a
okay.
dirt lot essentially, and
Oh
it's
shoot.
windy, so
Oh
well, that
shoot.
would be just being blown onto you.
So the
Yeah,
grass is amazing. They're obviously watering it well, and so I can just walk around barefoot, and there's tons of
and we're camped on the
dogs and
grass, so yeah.
people. It's really nice. People are spaced out. It's like it's very comfortable. And then they have lots of bathrooms. They have the Julka showers going at 106
Yeah,
degrees.
we both
So
did the showers this morning, even though it was a little awkward at one point. They haven't attended the showers, and I think he was what he wanted to find out was if like he could explain how the showers work to us at once, but he didn't
right.
ask us that question. He said, "Are you guys together?" I'm like, we'll be taking separate showers. Thank you very much.
Yeah, separate showers. We don't want to be in there together. Also very small. So that was fun. But I would say that I'd highly recommend the premium camping. I think it was 125 for the weekend for premium. And I don't know what it is for regular. I want to say it's a lot more affordable.
We also bought back in January, so I know we got a better price when we
Oh,
did
right.
that. So I don't know what the true MSRP is for the premium camping, but I agree. I think it is worth it.
Yeah.
I think in addition to what you mentioned, there's also we're sitting in what's called the premium lounge, which to be fair is just some picnic benches, but it's kind of a nice spot because we're under shaded covers that they have here, and it's between two buildings, so it actually has some windbreak to it. And every morning they bring out coffee and pastries, so
Yeah,
not bad.
that is pretty nice. And then for happy hour
Oh yeah,
on Fridays and Saturdays, we get one free drink,
right.
which you have to go get a ticket and then you can present it at the bar.
Yeah,
But I just wanted to give a shout out for that camping because it sometimes can be confusing as to like I wanted to get the most out of it. So coming in on a Thursday and then staying until Sunday is kind of the best way to go. Okay, so highlights. I didn't really think about this, so I'm gonna have to
okay. Well, while
take
you're
a
thinking,
beat.
I'll just give another note about camping.
Oh
I
yeah.
think if I wasn't doing the premium camping, I think it would make sense to not camp at the expo at all, and instead just find some dispersed nearby, and then come in
Okay.
each day. And
Okay.
because that's what I've heard from the videos I've watched, that it's still really tight packed out in the general parking. And you're not close, like we're very close to the premium parking, but you apparently have to go like a further walk from the regular parking, and then as mentioned, dust and sand and all that. So
Oh wow. Yeah, we are. It is very convenient for us. I forgot about that.
yeah.
That we're convenient to everything.
Yeah. Was the
Yeah.
Toyota event a highlight for you last night? Because I thought that was pretty fun,
That
even
was
though we didn't
interesting.
win. We got great tacos though, so that was awesome.
Yeah, it's like everything has its order. So we had to visit the booth before their event. And if you visit the booth before their event, then you sign up for their survey and you get this token. And then this token, you need to present it at their 7 o'clock event later on that day so that you can get a bingo card.
Yeah.
And
So that
then
was only Toyota owners that were at that event last night then, right?
I guess
Because
so.
I think
Oh, no, you could fill out the
oh,
survey as anybody,
okay, the
but they
token
had
was not required for Toyota owners.
right.
Anybody could get the
They
token.
had a special patch for the
I see.
owners.
Got
So I showed my key. What did you show?
I have like when I bought my Toyota, it didn't have any of the original keys. It was all stuff that had been copied. This is owning an old car style. So I realized I was like, oh, I've got my Progressive app, and I can just show them that I'm paying for car insurance on Toyota.
That's going to great lengths. Okay, awesome.
Like I got my patch for
You
that.
gotta get that patch.
Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, at 7 o'clock sharp, they sat us down. We got our camp chair, and it was like kind of like just an open grass field. And then they had tacos for us, like a huge taco plate with two tacos, rice and beans, and the fixings and drinks and everything.
Yeah,
So
legit.
it was
And they already
good.
like pre-made most of the taco. It's just like the extra toppings that you're like putting on there. So you're not like awkwardly trying to make it work. It's like it was all set there and ready to go, which is awesome.
They were just dishing it out. It's fantastic, catered and everything. And then we did 3 rounds of bingo, which we lost miserably on all of those rounds. But it was a music bingo where they played 30 seconds of music, and then they would shout out the title at the end.
Yeah.
So you weren't left guessing.
Like every single country song that came on, we're like,
It was primarily, I feel like, late 90s, early 2000s music.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised there wasn't a Dave Matthews Band song and all that. Like this would have been very much on point for that particular collection. It was a fun way to do it though, because I've never done music bingo, and you do have an advantage if you know the songs, because if you're close to a bingo and you hear the song, you know the song, then you can call out bingo before anybody else.
Yep.
We're taking a break. It's Melody jumping in to say we're hanging out on Instagram if you want to keep up with the Overland nonsense. And if you're on Apple, Amazon Music, or Spotify, go ahead and download the episode so you don't lose us. All right, back to it.
I would say that there's just really good vibes everywhere. There's little snacks and drinks and offerings, so you're not alone. Like if you came here by yourself, I don't think you would ever be alone.
Yeah.
People are chatty here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do come here, totally solo, and just expect to, meet and chat and whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and on that note, so if you're camping together with there's going to be other people around you. So if you are here solo, which we did find several people in our area are solo, then people just walk around. You walk, 50 yards and there's another person with a dog and you can chat with them, or somebody's having a fire, you can go sit with them, or you just strike up conversation and it's very friendly.
Yeah.
So you get to know your neighbors really well.
You kind of reminded me of a hot tip related to dogs. Neither of us have our dogs here on this particular venture. There is a place that's 7 minutes. If you go to the expo, this is an expo tip specifically, the PNW Expo. There is a place called the Deschutes Pet Lodge that is 7 minutes from the fairgrounds. That's where Ryder is staying. So I drove Ryder all the way down here. And then I'm boarding him at the pet lodge 7 minutes away.
Did you get the death stare?
Oh, yeah. He was very confused. He's like, wait a second. What kind of adventure is this?
The car ride was the adventure. Yeah, because it was going to be, we looked a month ago, it was going to be 95 degrees this weekend and sunny.
Yeah.
So we were like, I was too afraid to bring my dogs.
Yeah.
It was just going to be too hot.
Yeah, the weather-wise, it's great for dogs, but there are a lot of everything. There's a lot of other dogs. There's a lot of sounds. There's a lot of people. So there's music, and
it's an intense environment.
Yeah, so if you have a dog that gets overstimulated, then this is definitely not the place to have them.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's a place nearby that you can board them. It was pretty chill. Like all I had to do was send my vaccination records, and he was good to go.
Yep. So on the weather, it is now a chilly, frosty 55 degrees right now.
Yeah, we're sitting in our like puffies.
Yeah. It's cold.
On June 27th?
We are confused. Good thing I brought
on the east side of Oregon.
Good thing I always bring some heavy jackets in the car. I always throw puffies in there just in case. And so good thing I did. And I brought miraculously one pair of jeans. This is good because leggings don't cut it in this weather. And we have a friend that has an app called Camp Spotter. And so I went to their booth and I said, hey, your app is supposed to predict at any given moment of time in the next year what your weather is going to be like, what the camp space is like. Did you guys predict this? And the answer was a resounding yes. They're like, yes, we did predict this. And I was like, really? Like sun and rain and hot and cold? Because it was like, 80 degrees a couple days ago.
Well, sounds like you could predict anything. They would have been right.
And they're like, yep, we predicted it. So yeah, there's this app Camp Spotter where you can actually put in your trip, your dates of when you're going in the future, and it tells you how great of a camp spot it is. It has a rating, and then it will tell you the averages based on historicals.
Yeah, and it's not just based off the weather. It's like based off of a bunch of stuff too, or like I think
air quality, fire hazard.
Yeah, how flat it is, I think is one of the ones.
Oh, right.
Does. Yeah.
Yep, it has that for sure. So, yep, you guys can check that out. Yeah.
Very cool. And I think you can download it for free. They do have like a paid version where you get more information. But when I was looking at it, it had all the weather stuff just for free, which is pretty neat.
Yep. All right. So classes. we took different classes yesterday. We are interested in different things. So what did you end up doing yesterday? What did you think?
Well, there were two classes that I had intended on going to that were canceled because it was run by the same person, and they were no show apparently. So
Oh, no.
yeah, it was supposed to be checking out what's in your first aid kit and learning about it, and then the other one, which was supposed to be later in the day, was what to do, like, to stop the bleed. So
Yeah.
with my upcoming Oregon BDR trip, I was like, oh, this would be good stuff to learn. But unfortunately,
Absolutely.
I guess the speaker got held up, so
They
those
had an
did not
emergency.
happen. Yeah. The one of the ones I went to, which is not like a talk per se, they have this series called like My Perfect Overland Rig, and they have an area at the very back of the expo where all these people are kind of showcasing their rigs essentially.
Okay.
And then they have time slots dedicated where they're just going to be at the rig for that entire hour, and people can just kind of show up and like talk to them about their rig.
Okay.
Yeah, so I talked to a couple. I think their last name was Sinclair. They have a Jeep Gladiator with an Alucab camper on the back of it. So the Alucab's it's not a sliding camper, but it's everything you could do to almost have a sliding camper, but it not be a sliding camper. So it does sit on the rails, but also they take your tailgate out, and then they have a piece of sheet metal that perfectly fits your particular tailgate.
Okay.
And then that allows you to have like a big swing out door, which is cool because otherwise with all these other toppers, you have to like drop the tailgate and then pop the top, and then you have kind of awkwardly sort of like climb in, right? And like try not to hit your head. And I have hit my head a couple times on the other toppers. But this one, it's like a full swing out door. So it's like way easier to get in. And then if you like want to mount stuff on the door, like a spare tire per se, you can do that. You don't even have to have like a swing out bumper. It's like it's already built into your topper.
Okay.
So that was really cool. And then also they took that all the way down to South America and like toured South America with it. So it's kind of cool just to hear about their journey. Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other one I did was there was a preparing your bike for the BDR.
Yeah.
And that had a lot of gems because it's a guy that does just a lot of BDRs, and he just puts a lot of miles on his bike, and like all the little failure points that you wouldn't think of. For example, he gave a tip of buying rubberized electrical tape and then putting that around any of your electrical wiring that could rub somewhere. Because as you're riding in on your bike and you're vibrating like crazy, like all these things are like moving around and whatnot. So anything you do to like prevent that from being a failure point is a thing you want to do to make sure like you don't lose power in the middle of nowhere and you can't start your bike because the only way to start it is electric starter, right? So yeah, that was a really cool one. That was like the Overland Expo. I think it's more of a focus on 4x4s. So it was only like, I don't know, I think there was like 8 of us in attendance there. So we were able to like ask questions and have like a really, almost like a one-on-one with that.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many dual sport bikes here.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There is like a motorcycle camping section that's like way in the back. So,
okay.
Yeah. So if you wanted to find them, that's where they would be. But yeah, there's not a ton. There's also at the same weekend, it's the Tour Tech weekend up in Plain, which is where the NWR is happening. So a lot of the motorcycle riders that are ADV style are going to be at that event.
They're going to choose that one over this one.
Right. Yeah, because it's more motorcycle focused.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to a Traveling with Pets seminar.
Yeah, I was bummed to miss on that one.
But that was fun because I was just interested on listening to other people that do. Because, I mean, you and I do.
Yeah.
And we have friends that do, but it's kind of like, oh, well, what are these people with long-term goals? What do they do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they did have like a really good recommendation for a first aid kit for your dog. So they had recommended, oh, you know what? I didn't have this written down, but they recommended.
That's actually another tip while you're looking that up, I want to give is when you go to these classes, however you take notes. I take notes on my phone. A lot of people like to do it by hand on paper. Bring a notepad, paper if that's your style. It's good to take notes for these things. You get a lot of information. And
I did see people with both.
Yeah, it's hard to remember it all because there's just so much good information you're getting. So taking notes while you're attending these is very helpful.
Yeah. The first aid kits were from Far-Fetched Adventures. That's what they recommended. And Far-Fetched Adventures also has, for if you have a larger dog, they have the Airlift Canine Rescue Sling with shoulder pads so that you can,
Whoa.
yeah, you can actually like remove your own dog out of the woods rather than calling SAR.
Wow.
If there's something that happens.
Yeah. That's cool.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Then they talked about crossing borders with your pets. And this one guy had this wild story about it's, great to have all the right paperwork, but he was traveling in South America and some of the borders were dicey. So he would actually just let his dog out before the border, cross the border in his vehicle, and then call his dog back to the car.
Wow.
Because there's so many feral dogs that the Border Patrol is not concerned about dogs that are running around outside. However, if it's in your car, they're going to question you about it, right?
Mm.
So that was a super interesting workaround that he had. And the panel were divided on certain things, and that was one of them. Another one is that if it's not safe to bring your dog, don't bring your dog. Like if you know it's going to be really hot or you're having car trouble, probably best to leave the dog at home.
Right, for sure.
And if you can't leave the dog at home, like you're traveling full time with your dog, if it's in an RV, it sounds like it's pretty comfortable to leave it in the RV. But if you're going into like a national park, one that specifically doesn't even allow dogs in your car, they were saying that places like that, like the Grand Canyon, they have boarding facilities right outside of the national park. So you can call ahead, board your dog, and then enter the park, no problem. Pick up your dog afterwards. So I thought that was really interesting because like you are obviously are hip to that because you use the Deschutes Pet Lodge.
Yep.
But it just didn't occur to me that was a possibility.
Mm.
So that's great.
Yeah. I mean, I'm mostly motivated just because these places are generally cheaper than boarding my dog in Seattle. So I'm highly motivated to find these places and do it. It's great.
Nice. Another gem that they had was that, and then a veterinarian was also in the audience too, which was helpful. He said, if you have a good relationship with your vet and you tell them where you're going, the vet will typically put together like a medical pack. That's like for the most basic things that may happen to your dog while you're away. And then you can bring that pack with you when you travel.
That's cool.
Also, some people were even to the point where they travel so often that they will look up their next stop and where the hospitals and the vets are, and they will mark them on their maps, their offline maps, along with phone numbers.
Oh, nice.
Although it seemed like very, I don't know, one person made it seem very common that everybody has Starlink now, so it wouldn't be possible to go offline. But for those that want a quick access and offline, then to jot those numbers down. So if you have questions, and also the poison line as well.
Nice. Yeah,
so,
right.
Good tips.
Yeah, absolutely good tips.
Yeah, and classes are so good, huh?
Yeah.
You learn a lot.
Yeah. I went to like a cooking one, which is funny because I don't even cook that much.
Did you go to a cooking one?
Yeah, it was like it was scheduled for 2 hours. It didn't take 2 hours. It took about 80 minutes, I think. But she said that specifically she'd done this talk before, but then she had to cut out a lot just to make an hour. So that's why they had booked 2 hours.
Fair.
But this was like happening right when the wind really started picking up. Because like it's actually not terribly windy right now, but in the afternoon it starts gusting up to like 30 miles per hour, and it was gusting hard. It rained as well as we were at the talk, and it was an outside location, but we were like in sort of like a fair style tent, I guess. But some of the connections of the sides of the tent had like disconnected, so it was like blowing into the back of her speaker. Yeah. But yeah, she was like a serious, like she cooks from scratch every meal, and they live on the road. So it's like it was pretty interesting to get that perspective. But there's also stuff that even though I'm not like that hardcore stuff that could apply to anyone, including myself. Like basically things like, okay, when you're buying containers, get the square containers, not the circular ones, because you're just going to get way more space with the square containers. And then like get the ones that can actually like really seal. And then if you have fruits, it's better to get something that like is like a mesh so that they can like breathe and they won't age faster, that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was pretty handy ideas that they had. And like my list of things from that talk was so long. It was ridiculous.
Well, now that you're going to get a camper also,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
has to be way more effective as well, right?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
now you can have kitchen systems.
Right.
Which I would love to have in the Forerunner, but that's never going to happen. It's kind of clunky to like cook out of the Forerunner.
Yeah.
Some people may fight me on that idea, but I find it pretty clunky. Like if you have a camper, you have dedicated kitchen and a sink and storage. So that's fun.
Yep, indeed.
All right. Well, it's 9 o'clock, so should we get started roaming the show?
Let's do it. Yeah. So generally with these shows is you have about an hour between the opening and then the start of the talk. So now's our time. Let's do it.
All right.
If you want to get in touch with us by email, let us know what you think. remotetrailsradio@gmail.com.
RTR, over and out.